Hello, I'm Kat and this is 10 Minutes Long, and today I am going to talk a little bit about weight loss. My voice is quite scratchy because it's like first thing in the morning. Um, so, in a previous video I mentioned that I have lost about 5 stone over the years, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that because I see out there a lot of like fad diets and things, and people spend a lot of money to go to weight loss groups, they buy books on it, they try different diets and things like that. And I've I've personally I've never found those things have worked for me. Um Now the app that I'm using says that I've lost 5 stone, but I'm pretty convinced it's actually a little bit more than that because I started using a different app first and then transferred to this one later. So I don't actually know exactly how much I've lost, but it's a fair amount. Um, the key thing and the reason why I wanted to do this video is because um, I'm really sorry about the wood pigeon in the background. Um, that's not why I'm doing this video, but like I'm on a bit of a schedule. I start work in something like 20 minutes, and I wanted to get this video done because I've got like some more to do later on this week. And this wood pigeon just sat on the sea, just sat on the roof, just giving it his all. So apologies for that. So I wanted to do this video because, as I say, I've seen a lot of like fad diets and things like that around. I haven't followed any of those. Like my weight loss hasn't cost me anything, just sort of vigilance and diligence. And I've kept it off. Like I've lost that 5 stone, and I'm still losing a little bit of weight, but I'm kind of like maintaining it. And but I've had to make a few sort of adjustments, like to get to that point. So for me, one of the biggest things I've learned about losing weight is that it has to be a mindset, not a fad, not a diet. I mean, the great thing about the way that I've lost weight, or the great thing I feel about it, is that I've just been able to eat whatever I want, really. Like there's no limitations on what I eat. I don't limit myself to just paleo or just keto or just vegetarian or just like I can eat what I want. Everything's a balance. That's the key thing. Is that like I eat plenty of chocolate, I eat cake, I eat things like that, but it's balanced against the healthier stuff. So it's kind of like you've got to make a choice at the end of the day. Like if you want to eat cake, chocolate, crisps, all that kind of stuff, you totally can do, but obviously you eat less food then. So like if you have crisps and that's quite a few calories, then you're not using those calories for something else. So yeah, it is calorie counting mostly that I've used to get to this point. But I found that it's really worked for me, and I wanted to share not so much the method. Like I think I'll do another video on that and go into it in further detail because there's quite a bit to cover, but like the mindset changes that I made that kind of enabled me to do it. So first off, I'll just put my money where my mouth is and show you some pictures. So hopefully those are overlaid on screen now if I can figure out how to do that in my video editor, because like I am not a good video editor, just putting that out there, as you probably realise. But from these pictures you can see that I very rarely took like full length pictures of myself ever. So the first couple you'll see that like the weight is kind of all in my face. Like you can just see in my face that I was obviously quite, had more weight on me. And then the next one is from my wedding, and I actually told people at my wedding not to take photos. I didn't want to have photos taken of me. I didn't feel great about myself at the time, but somebody did, and like at the worst possible angle. And it's this picture that totally spurred me into being like, I have to do something about this. Like I do not like the way that I look, I do not like the way that's presented. But also at the time I was also like really feeling it, like wasn't comfortable when I was going for walks. I wasn't like, just didn't feel great in myself. So that was kind of the photo that really spurred everything on. So as you can see, that was the before, and here is the after. So since then, like I was going through the photos on my phone, I realised actually I have no issues now with taking like full length photos. There's quite a few of them. Not all of them are like ones that I'd really like to share, because it's like me like trying to do smouldering looks at the camera whilst like, you know, sticking my legs up or whatever. It's not a good look for me, honestly. I don't know why I even took them in the first place. Anyway, you'll see that there are some after photos, including one that I took just this morning, just before I did this, just because, like, you know, as I said, put your money where your mouth is. Like, I can show you, you can see in these photos that I have lost weight. The key thing is I haven't done it instantly, and it's not like, the problem with a lot of like fad diets and stuff is it becomes a bit of a yo-yo, because you kind of pick up that fad diet, you start following it, you start to see results quite quickly, but then you quickly get irritated by the fact that you're not, you know, you're having to limit the foods that you're eating to certain things where you perhaps wouldn't have done that ordinarily. And then it just becomes easy to go back on it, because you know you've made all this change really fast, you achieved the look you wanted to, now you're just going to pig out, and then if you've pigged out, then it's done, isn't it? Like, you know, well, oh well, I messed it up, so move on. Whereas the method that I've been using hasn't done any of that. So the first thing is that you need to change your mindset, and you need to see it as more of a lifestyle change than, you know, an immediate short-term fix. Like, if you want to lose weight and you want to maintain that weight, then you need to make changes, and you need to keep those changes in place. Like, if you don't, then you're just going to lose the weight and then put it back on. And that's the same for any weight loss method you use, whether you go to a weight loss group, whether you follow any of the fad diets. It really doesn't matter. Like, if you go in there with a mindset of I'm just going to get to this weight and then revert, you will. It needs to be a permanent lifestyle change together. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, like, try not to limit too much what you allow yourself to eat or do. So that was like the key thing that I found, that like when I first started, I was like, I'm never eating crisps, I'm never eating chocolate and all this kind of stuff, and like it just couldn't make it stick, because I love those things. And so like not allowing myself to eat them was really problematic and was really not helping me at all. So instead I learned how to balance those things, so it's everything in balance. Like, yes, you can have crisps, just don't eat a full like 6-pack of crisps. Super easy. And so that is a lot of it, is changing your mindset about these things. The other thing is, like, find a method that works for you. Like I said, I use calorie counting. A lot of people say it doesn't work, but I've had great success with it. I think part of my success comes from the fact that I don't allow for you know, like making up calories. So like if I do some exercise and the exercise says that I've burned 300 calories, I don't then allow myself to eat that extra 300 calories. Like, that's just bonus weight loss. But I have also gone to great lengths to find the calorie limit that works for me. And I think that's the other thing. And the other thing why people don't seem to get on with calorie counting is they don't take the time to actually find the correct limit for themselves. And that leads into my next point, is to start small. Don't rush in and be like, right, my calorie limit is now 1,300 calories a day and I'm sticking to it. Like, no, find the level that works for you to get slow and steady weight loss. That is the key. Slow and steady weight loss, and maintaining that over a period of time. You probably want to be aiming for like £1 a week or something like that, just to quietly and slowly chip away at it. Remember, this is a marathon, not a race. And yeah, it will take time. It is like the photo that I showed you that spurred this all on for me, that was 4 years ago. So it's taken me quite a long time to get to this. And this is the size that I like being. Like, that this is the weight that I am currently maintaining and have been for, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so. But even in the first year, I noticed a difference. In the second year, I noticed a difference. So like, you know, don't be disheartened when your progress is slow. You will still feel it. Like, every step of the way, I've still felt good about it. And that's the next thing, is like, don't go into this expecting like amazing, immaculate results. Like, oh, I'm going to lose a stone in 3 weeks. Don't. Just go into it with the expectation that you're just going to make some changes, and that's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you look better, and you're going to feel good about it. So don't rush in expecting to change everything really fast. Don't rush in expecting results really, really soon. Just go into it thinking, I want to make a change, and I'm going to make that change slowly, and then actually make that change slowly. So start off by just taking note of like how much you're eating and how many calories you're eating, and then like maybe just reduce it by like 100 calories a week or something like that until you find your level. Like, don't rush into it, take it slowly. And those are the mindset changes that I've made that have been really instrumental on my weight loss journey. So that's pretty much the key things that I wanted to communicate today. I'm going to do another video on like actually getting started and how you get started, and like the key things that I've done that got me into actually calorie counting and actually starting to lose the weight without it being like a huge psychological drag. So I'll do another video on that in the future. So if you want to see that and you're interested in learning more about how I've done this for myself without having to spend tons of money, then subscribe and you'll see those videos.